Financial inclusion enables progressive access to and usage of a wide range of appropriate and quality financial products and services, including payments, credit, savings, and insurance by everyone. Access to the right financial tools at critical moments can determine whether a poor household or small businesses can capture an opportunity to move out of poverty or absorb a shock without being pushed deeper into poverty. The internet is breaking down barriers including sovereign borders, challenging the existing standards of policy and regulation in the financial sector. The FSDU supports transformative regulatory reforms that will ensure excluded or underserved customer segments gain access to financial services. Proactive rather than reactive engagement of regulators and policymakers with emerging technologies will help them build a culture of innovation. Benefits including more inclusive financial service markets will translate into more economic opportunities for all.
We have noticed that not only domestically but also regionally and globally, the financial landscape is changing. Increasingly, technology is replacing brick and mortar, the most predominant of which in Uganda is the mobile phone. And this is evident from the National Demand Side Survey, FinScope, that we are glad to sponsor over the last 5 itineraries. We've noticed that close to 5 out of every adult Ugandans not only access financial services through a mobile phone, but also actively utilize financial services through the mobile phone. It means that there needs to be a paradigm shift in the way policies are developed, are designed, in the way regulations are drafted, they're implemented, and supervision is undertaken. In an environment where someone can be able to apply for a loan and receive a loan under a minute without ever entering into a banking hall and never being able to see the person on the other side who is delivering the credit, what that means is a regulator also needs to change the way they regulate such an environment. It's against that background that we started implementing last year what we call the Digital Transformation Project. This is a project that seeks to support regulators as well as policymakers to become more adaptive and responsive to the changing landscape within the financial system. Beyond training and increasing the body of knowledge or awareness or exposure of staff of regulatory bodies, we are also working with them to be able to do an in-depth diagnosis of the challenges and the gaps within these institutions, which could be a hindrance in them being able to adopt and adequately respond to the changing landscape.
FSDU is supporting policymakers and the regulators to respond effectively to the economy of tomorrow. This includes building their capacity to respond to dynamic changes in the financial sector. Under the Digital Transformation Project, FSDU Uganda is working with the Bank of Uganda, the Capital Markets Authority, the Uganda Communications Commission, and the Insurance Regulatory Authority.
For a long time now, when you look at our market concentration, the focus has been on middle and high income populations. And yet the structure of our population is such that the majority of the people actually what you would call low-income earners. So meaning that the market has been concentrating on a smaller population, leaving out the wider population, and understandably so. So when we came into partnership with FSDU, the most critical question that we wanted to answer was how do we access these people? About 2 or 3 areas we agreed upon. One was regulation. We had regulations, yes, but we did not have a regulatory framework addressing the area of what we call microinsurance, the insurance for low-income earners. The other area we realized that these people are slow in innovation, the market. And FSD said, I think we can entice them to innovate. And they were very good enough, put aside a fund which was called the Microinsurance Challenge Fund, where the market was invited to present their innovative proposals. The other area that we looked at was why is the market slow when it comes to interacting with the mass market? And we said, so what do we do about this? The answer was in innovation. We have had some conversations with these young, innovative minds where we explain the problem and they start thinking about solutions. The other area was on ways to improve the product approval process, which had been identified to be kind also of a bottleneck. FSDU, together with the partners, came up with a risk assessment tool, which was initially introduced to the authority staff. Our staff were taken through rigorous training, but we also said that for this tool to work very well, probably we should not train only the IRA staff, because the people who are going to use it actually in the market.
It's basically a training that has given us clear views on, first of all, identification of risk. What kind of risks should we look out for, we as the regulator, once we are looking at these products that are submitted for approval? And then how will they deliver this product to the ultimate client?
They also looked at IRA, how ready are you to embrace innovation? And actually the finding was that, yes, we are willing, but when it comes to the actual readiness, we are probably not ready. So we have started discussions pointing towards regulatory sandboxes, whereby we are getting out of the general regulatory framework to think about, even without being provided for in the regulation, can we license some people? Give them a conditional license, a 6-month license, subject to fulfillment of certain conditions, as we also learn.
We are basically being taught to try to change our thinking about insurance products, about how the products are structured, trying to understand what the low insurance market segment needs in an insurance product, and trying to make sure that we design products that would appeal to them.
I didn't know how to do risk assessment before, but that tool I've learned has given me more knowledge, and I'll be able to apply it internally at the work.
What the training was about was being able to identify the risks that are being faced by these enterprises, learning how to match the insurance products with the risks that are being faced. And for me, the most exciting was being able to understand tools that I use to make this decision.
My role is basically assessing clients and accepting and rejecting risks. It also involves product innovation, and of course this training is directly related to my role. I believe that in terms of product development, I'll have more knowledge in terms of the risks relating to product development. I'll have a better structured approach in my decision making, and even justify, of course, to my bosses and even the board that a certain product, once rolled out, will definitely add value to the organization.
That's essentially how we are going to impact the industry, by making sure that we get more people to actually come to ITC to receive the training that has been designed.
I think the training is timely, especially at a time whereby the growth of the industry has been a bit stagnant. But now we're trying to look for new avenues to be able to increase our penetration, but also being able to serve the bottom of the pyramid. And this tool helps us to develop simpler ways of providing distribution, simpler ways of designing products for them. And I think it will go a long way in increasing financial inclusion in Uganda.
So for my organization, we are looking forward to working with small and micro enterprises, because we have got an eye-opener to the way things are done, or the way things should be done.
What do we hope to achieve after the 3 years in implementing this project and beyond? Because we know it's a long-term initiative, even way beyond the investment that FSD is going to make within Uganda. we hope to see a total transformation of the regulatory landscape. We hope to be able to build the regulator of the future. A regulator who is more dynamic, who is not afraid of risk, who looks at risk as a partner and not looking at risk as an adversary, who seeks to manage risk and harness the innovation and the creativity that comes with technology, rather than be seen as a hindrance and a bottleneck to innovation.